Alright guys, how's it going? It's Python. Welcome back to some more Haikyu Fly High. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about the UR memories, because first of all, there is a UR memory selection out right now on global for the next 4 weeks. It was a week before, so it should be 3 weeks now. Well, a little bit more because it's Wednesday, right? 3 weeks from Wednesday. So yeah, it's here for quite a while, and because we have access to the weekly refreshing UR memory dupes, which monthly refreshing UR memory dupes, which probably we can get not every month, but like I feel like we can get like 2 every 3 months, if that makes sense, but at least once every other month for sure. But I feel like we should be able to get like 2 every 3 months if you really grind it out and you really play that. But regardless, in the long run, we're going to be able to dupe out a couple of the UR memories. So I want to go over some of them, which maybe since the UR memory banner is out right now. And by the way, we get a dupe from the Oikawa chain pack. If you purchase the Oikawa chain pack with free-to-play gems, you can get a UR memory dupe as well along the way. So I wanted to pull up the team builder here and take a look at quickly take a look at some UR memories that are worth it for SP characters. Okay, we're not going to talk about UR memories on UR characters or SSRs. That doesn't really make sense, but we're going to talk about some of them, how good they are for specific SP characters. Okay, I'm not going to talk about, oh, grab this one because this one might be generic and good in general, right? Maybe there's going to be some shouts about that, but I'm going to talk specifics. If you're going to pull this SP character, this UR memory is really good, and there's not really that many because, you know, a lot of the times, well, all the times really, memories are designed after their own character, so there's very few substitutes that are better, but there are some that are going to be worth it with the dupes, of course. Now, if you know, well, if you don't know, you should know, there are only 2 UR memories in the game with SP level stats, and that is Sakusa and Komori's memories. The reason being because on JP they came out in between SP characters, right? On global we got them at the end of the UR run, but on global they actually came out after the summer trio. So it's actually that's the reason why they themselves have SP level stats and they have SP level memories as well. So I'm gonna count those 2 as SP characters as well, but the easiest ones are those, right? Because they already have the SP level stats out on base, so they're gonna be, with just one dupe, they're gonna be better than your regular SP memory. Obviously, if you have them and you play them in your team and you're planning on using them on your team long term, which again, I am gonna make a video talking about the best variation of every single playstyle to plan towards in the future. I want to do that probably next week as we get a bit closer to Takuchi, because he is going to be part of that blog variation. Excuse me. Okay. Easy choice. First of all, it's Komori. Komori's one is really decent. I'm not going to read through all of this. It's quite generic. Yeah, it's actually quite generic. Obviously, if you play the receive team, the best variation of the receive team for me does play Komori and Sakusa, but again, we'll talk about that in like a week's time. But yeah, I would say with dupes, this is probably really good for any of the SP Nishinoyas, and since Komori himself is SP level even at UR rarity, and again, listen, maybe we're gonna get an SP version of Sakusa and Komori that's gonna be much better, so if you're thinking about themselves, not on other characters, then, you know, maybe think about that in the future, but obviously they're not confirmed or anything. So yeah, Komori's is quite generic. It's quite decent to use on your, you can't really go wrong with it. The only thing is that at dupes only this is going to increase, on the yellow increases. So a lot of other memories have more than 2 or 3 things that they increase with dupes. So this one's only this one, which is just the receive stat, which is a decent one. Obviously, it's a bit of a safe option to go for this one, just in case some of your characters benefit from their own ones better. But I would say that, again, we're going to talk about Sakusa's first, then I'm going to go position by position. This one is incredible. This one is phenomenal. I would say if you have the designated characters for this. This is incredible, especially for a certain character, and I've wanted to make this video for ages because I think that this memory is phenomenal for the Receive theme and for Yamamoto. I think this is absolutely incredible for Yamamoto, and we're going to take a look at Yamamoto's own memory and tell you why this is better. So, first of all, this increases, let's take a look at Dupe 5, power attack by 24, massive. When the equipment performs a receive, their attack technique increases by 15 for 2 net crossings, and after the equipment performs a receive, their spirit increases by 8, up to 4 times. Whereas if we take a look at Yamamoto's own Wing Spiker 1, increases power attack stat by 12. For every perfect power spike your side does, the equipment's strength increases by 6, which I don't know what the hell this is. If it was perfect receive, it'd be a little bit better, but for every perfect power spike, no, that's gonna take forever. And yeah, for me, Sakusa's one at Dupe 2 is already, well, it already is better because it is an SP level. So this is for me, if you're gonna go for the receive theme and you're gonna grab Yamamoto, Sakusa's one is incredible. Also, other wing spike, obviously Sakusa himself, where is he? As we said, he is an SP level character, so if you're gonna pull for Sakusa as well, maybe you can get 2. Since the selection box is out, maybe you can get 2 if you're gonna play the receive team in the future, which, spoiler alert, these 2 are gonna be in there. I would say maybe you can get 2 of these. Another thing is, if you're gonna use, let me see here. If you're gonna use Hoshumi in the back row as well, more often than not, that one is also a good option. We're gonna talk more about Hoshumi in the future because he's just, you can't really go wrong with him. But if you play him here, for example, in the rotation, or maybe even here, I think that this one's worth it because he's gonna obviously at skill 2 gonna use the receive quite a bit. So I think that that is an option to keep in mind for. But in my opinion, this is perfect for Yamamoto. If you're gonna grab Yamamoto, this is 100% the best memory for Yamamoto. And it's kind of rare that you see that, especially considering that there is 2 URs with SP level stats. So these 2 memories, I would say, gain priority over the others just because of the stat boost that they have. And I would say that ideally, in an ideal world, you want to use your UR memory dupes on just those 2, on Sakusa's memory and on Komori's memory, to get the maximum value. But obviously, if you're not going to build a receive team, if you're not going to don't want to do this for Hoshumi, obviously you don't grab Sakusa's, right? Don't just grab Sakusa's memory to put on anybody, because I would say, for example, if you look at other wing spikers, Iwaz is not a bad option, but I would say his own memory is just better, especially if you're going to use him as a receive specialist, which he is. So in my opinion, he should be in the back row as often as possible, and not really spiking as much. So I would say his own memory is much better. Tanaka's another good option that could use Sakusa's memory, but I just think Tanaka's own memory is really strong for him. So I wouldn't really do it, but you could do it. It's not that bad, but Tanaka's memory, as you can see, when the equipper performs a power spike, the blocker has a debuff. The power of the spike increased by 80%, which is absolutely massive. And with having Tanaka, it's good. Genjima's memory is also quite a universal one. Obviously, it's SP, so you can't get dupes for this one, but it's also quite universal and nice. Right, so those 2 are the main 2 that have SP level stats. The main 2 that you probably should try and prioritize if you can. Again, don't force a player in your team just because you want to get Sakusa's memory onto them. If they're part of your team, then yeah, go for it and do that. Other wing spiker ones, Bokuto's one is quite decent. Again, these are UR level stats, so you're probably gonna have to get like Dupe 3 or Dupe 4 for these to be at SP level or better than SP level. I don't really know. Let me know in the comments if you know. But the thing is, obviously the cap is 5. So even at Dupe 3 and Dupe 4, they might be better than the SPs. The cap is 5. So Sakusa and Komori's one at Dupe 3 are probably worth this one at Dupe 5. So that's why I'm saying Sakusa and Komori's one are better if you can. Bokuto's one, if you already have it, it's a decent one. When your side enters Team Morale Awakening, the equipper gains additional 8% power attack up to 3 stacks. When the equipper is on the court, the duration of Team Morale Awakening increases by 2 night crossings. It's actually not a bad one. Excuse me. Yeah, it's actually not a bad one. It's a quite kind of generic one. Again, I do think when you look at the wing spikers, I do think there's just better options for them. For Bokutos, I would say the SP one. For Iwaz is his one. Genjima is a bit generic. Like if he's probably not gonna make anybody's team long term, but so you probably shouldn't invest in him. Hoshiyumi, there's a lot of options. This one could be one of them, but it depends on how you use Hoshiyumi because he can do anything. Tanaka's is his own one, Yamamoto's is Sakusa's one, and Futakuchi will get to him when he releases, but it's not this one. I'll tell you that much, but it's a good option if you have it. You could dupe it. I wouldn't do it. Hoshiyumi's one is decent for SP Hoshiyumi. Hoshiyumi's one is really good for SP Hoshiyumi. Yeah, that's it. The SP version is better, obviously, at base stats. You probably would need to get it like dupe 3 or 4 for it to be better. It can get better, but again, if you're gonna use him in the back row, maybe use Sakusa's one because obviously at the same number of dupes, the Sakusa one is gonna be better for your team strength as well. But yeah, this one's not a bad option for SP Hoshiyumi, especially considering that it's kind of similar to the memory of SP Hoshiyumi. It's kind of like you know, this one increases at max value attack and defense technique by a set amount, and then basic stats by 2%, stacking up to 10, whereas this one increases basic stats by 6, and then increases attack technique, defense technique by 2, stacking up to 10. So they're kind of similar, but not really. I would say the SP one is a little bit better, but yeah, you could go for the UR one if you already have it. It's decent. Now here is the middle blockers, and the middle blockers are a bit of a problem. All right. Because the middle blockers are a bit too specific. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the middle blockers here real quick. Here we go. So the middle blockers, as a whole, as far as SPs go, they are too set on their own memory. Their own memories are tailor-made for them. For Tsukishima, for Kuro, for Tendo especially, Tendo's memory is like tailor-made for him. So like it's not ideal outside of him. It can work on certain characters, but it's not ideal outside of him. But for him, it's incredible. Liev's one as well. If you have Kenma, Liev's one, you need Liev's memory. Yeah, they're just... they're not really generic, I would say, when it comes to, especially when it comes to blocking. When it comes to quick attack, there are some that are kind of generic and versatile, but these two are definitely for block, and they're not really that generic, I wouldn't say. Again, Hirogami's one. Hirogami doesn't have a great memory when it comes to the SP version. It's not ideal. Increase the block stat by 12 when the equipper's side has at least 4 players with block type. All players on the equipper's side gain 10% block and quick attack stats for 1 round. For 1 rally, this is, by the way. So it's not good at all. Like, this is not a great memory at all. So it's kind of difficult to suggest what memory to grab for Hirogami. You know, obviously I would say that the new Aone, the newest one, is probably the better one. Other than that, maybe the first Aone is decent for him, but you know, if you have one of these, maybe you could dupe it out for him. He's not really gonna benefit from this whole thing, apart from the block stat increase. This one's interesting for Liev as well, but Liev doesn't have a block alt. So yeah, it's difficult because he does gain quick attack stat bonuses by his own skills, but obviously he doesn't have a block alt. So you're not really gonna get too much out of the whole explanation thingy from the middle blocker memory. So I wouldn't really recommend these. It's really tough. It's really difficult. But again, I would say the middle blocker ones. It's tough for Hirogami. But for the other ones, like, just grab their own one. For Tsuki, for sure his own one. Kuro, for sure his own one. Tendo, for sure his own one. Liev, for sure his own one. Aone, his own one, the first one. The 2 Hinatas, I don't really remember this one, but this one, his own one for sure. So yeah, it's they're just made. You're not really, I wouldn't suggest any of the middle blocker UR ones, apart from maybe Hirogami's, but I would say there's higher priorities than that. Moving on to the opposites, and the opposites are very well opposite to the middle blocker ones, because they are actually really good for their specific ones. So UR Ushijima's works really well for SP Ushijima, and UR Osamu's works really good for SP Osamu's, but maybe even better. For Ushijima's, I would say the UR one is really good, increases awareness by 20 at max. And when the awareness exceeds 50, gains 1% strength for every 1% exceeding awareness, up to 100% strength. Excuse me. He has this as a passive, by the way. SP Ushijima has this as a passive already set. This is essentially going to be a 300 strength because his awareness goes through the roof, especially if you build him with School Festival. So it's just 300% strength, which is really, really good. It's really, really big. But I would still say that his own one is a little bit better. I would say his own one is a little bit better. Strength by 12 only, increases his awareness by 40, and when he spikes, reduces awareness by 10, and increases strength by 4 up to 3 stacks. At max value, maybe this is worth it more. I don't know, to be honest with you. I think this is not a bad option for sure. If you already have UR Ushijima, you're gonna go for School Festival, and you have this memory, then if it saves you a couple of tickets, then for sure go for this one. But he already has this as a passive. Where is it? He already has this as a passive. So it's probably bigger to get the 40% awareness. I don't know. It's tough, but I'll add it here. I think that this is another option to try and go for, to try and prioritize. But probably better is actually Osamu, because look at this. Increase the equipper's quick attack by 24. If the equipper's attack technique is greater than 40, which, spoiler alert, it's gonna be very easily if you have him and Atsumu, the spike's power increased by 48% of their quick attack stat. This is really strong. This is really strong. The SP memory for Osamu is actually really good as well. Increase his quick attack stat. I don't remember if I called him Atsumu before. I'm sorry. It's Osamu. Increase his quick attack stat by 12 when your set performs a set. The equipper's strength increases by 2%, stacking up to 15 times. When the equipper performs a set, they get an additional 2 stacks. So it's really good, this one. But honestly, I would say that the UR one, if you already have it at high dupes, is probably better. So at opposites here, we have a completely different story from the middle blockers. I would say that these two, especially Osamu, are good options with their UR memories at max dupes. So yeah, I would say outside of Sakusa and Komori's memory, I would say that this one is probably the next best one is Osamu's. Obviously Komori can work for anybody. I'm just gonna put Komori here just because. But it can work for both the Nishinoyas as well. I'm just gonna put him there, just to have him there. Okay, that was it for the opposites. And finally, it's the setters. The setters is a difficult one because, again, UR Oikawa's works decently well with SP Oikawa's, but SP Oikawa's own one is just better. And also there's not really that many other options. So I would say this one's not really one that you should really look to dupe. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Oikawa's own SP one is really strong. If we can take a look at it. Increase the equipper's set by 12% at the start of the round if your side's attack tempo is greater than 2. The equipper's offensive stats, power attack, quick attack, and all that stuff increased by 10% for a rally. Yeah, it's really good, and it does, obviously, at the start of the rally. So it procs every single rally, so it's really, really good. I wouldn't really say this is better than the SP one. This one is still really good though. For Atsumu, increase the equipper's set by 12% when the equipper is on the court. If any allied player's awareness or reflex is below 20, that player's attack technique and defense technique increase by 6.4. When an allied player performs a non-critical action, the equipper gains 2% attack and defense technique. Really good, again, increases attack and defense technique of Atsumu himself, which his own SP one doesn't do. Yeah, it's actually quite a good one for Atsumu as well. It increases the technique and defense technique of your players. whereas this one actually doesn't. Increase basic stats by 7. I mean, this one could be another option as well for Atsumu. I don't know if it's better than his own one, the SP one, but oops, not the UR one, sorry. I'll add it here just in case, but I would say not as ideal as Osamu's. The SP one is actually still quite good. And finally for Kageyama's is actually benefits from the stutter dump. It's a massive increase on the awareness on the stutter dump. There's not really that many SP setters with stutter dump that are new. The only ones are the first Kenma and Akashi, unless I'm forgetting someone. So if you want to use it on those guys, yep. Also, it's really nice. It increases the next spike's power by 28% of the spiker's power attack quick attack. This is actually really good and generic. Kageyama's one is actually really decent. It also increases. I'm assuming this doesn't increase when he does the dump, right? Does it also work when he does the dump? If it does, then yeah, it's kind of crap. But if it doesn't, this is actually quite good as well. I'm assuming it has to do with the dump, right? Because it says it also. So yeah, I'm assuming this has to do with when they dump. Not bad for Akashi, maybe, or the first Kenma. Not bad options, but for me, I would say the ideal is Sakusa's memory on Yamamoto. That's the best single combination, I would say, for an SP character with a UR memory. Hoshimi, if you're going to use him in the back row, can use Sakusa's one. You can use his own one. The UR one is actually quite decent as well. Obviously, Sakusa and Komori with their own ones. Any Libero with Komori's one. Well, not any wing spiker, but it could work on Tanaka as well, I guess. But I think Tanaka's own one is better. Well, I say it's better. At Dupe 5, the UR one is better. At Dupe 5, right? But it's not that worth it, because obviously you can't dupe 5 or 8 of them. You can't dupe, like, you're only gonna dupe 1, maybe 2. Like, it's gonna take a while. You can't dupe like your whole team. You know what I mean? So I think if you're gonna get this one, this is the best one. Osamu, Atsumu work well, Osamu especially. Ushijima works well with the UR version. So these are the recommendations for me. Again, Bokuto's one could work on a bunch of wing spikers. I wouldn't really recommend the middle blocker ones, but you could do it because there's not really that many generic options. But yeah, I would say as far as priority goes, if you're gonna pull any of these characters in specific for any of your teams, then I would say that Hoshimi, obviously depending on the position that you play him, I would say that this is debatable. I would say the SP is better. This is debatable. Ushijima, I would say Yamamoto for sure. Osamu probably. But again, at Dupe 5, I would say, yeah, I would say Osamu for sure. I would say maybe even Atsumu. At Dupe 5 for sure. Ushijima is a bit of a question mark for me. And these two are obviously these two as well, Sakusa and Komori. I'm hovering them around. I don't think they actually move on the recording. No, they don't. I was just looking at myself. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for the video today. If I missed something, if I overlooked something, please let me know. I think this is quite accurate. I don't think I really missed something or overlooked something. Once again, you should prioritize Sakusa and Komori's one if you're gonna grab, like if you're gonna grab Yamamoto for the receive team and you're also gonna build, I don't know, the quick team. I think you should prioritize this one because it has more value if you can obviously grab the SP version of the other guy. But it's the UR is obviously better than a rare one or an SSR one. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.